China may strike Taiwan and the United States possibly as early as April 2024. Why April? I'm going to explain that to you, and I'm going to explain why 2024. And if not April, the next big window might be October 2024. I'm going to lay all that out. I did do a video about 2 weeks ago going into four structures and locations of what we're about to build up in the islands in the area and what China has there as reason why China might strike us in 2024 before we get our stuff laid out. But I got another reason. There is one reason that China might be holding out until April 2024. Why April? Why October? That's when the sea states of the Taiwan Strait are the calmest, so it would give the best chance for an invasion fleet, landing craft, and such to get across. As I mentioned previously, China has conducted three tests, and Xi Jinping wanted to see three things to ensure that they were ready to make this invasion. Two of these tests have already been completed, and the third is underway. The first two had to do with the missile strikes and all the joint force capabilities they exercised in terms of striking missiles over Taiwan after Nancy Pelosi visited not too long ago. And then they followed that with this whatever sword exercise it was they called back in April, wherein they were testing their joint command and control of their forces to be able to do the invasion. And the last thing had to do with the use of commercial roll-on, roll-off vehicles, which they plan to use for the amphibious landing instead of military vehicles. And they've done a test of that, a preliminary test. They've tested the capacity on these vessels. Now they're about to do a landing exercise on one of their islands to complete that test. So everything is drawing close. You might be aware that they have software, they have bugs in our defense systems. Apparently, all of our defense systems, including our most secure stuff, has been bugged by Chinese Trojan malware under an operation called Vote Typhoon. And it's through a lot of our civilian software, especially within software that controls our critical infrastructure, like your water systems, your communication systems, and the power grid. But on top of that, a lot of the power grid is not on the internet. However, they have provided a lot of the key large-scale transformers to the United States that apparently have black boxes in them that they can, apparently there's, according to some sources, the potential that there's cell phone tech or type technology that would enable them to just call them up and shut them off. Maybe cause them to get fried. Frying them would be the biggest danger to us. Or they could cause cascading failures in a power grid that would cause other ones that did not come from them to fry and fail in a permanent way. I've explained in the past one of those large 200 to 400 ton transformers are a critical linchpin to our power system, and how it would, if everything's working, it would take 18 months to get one on a loading dock. You'll be in a situation where they're not working. And on top of that, you consider there are sleeper cells in this country, and the recent discovery of biolabs. We don't know how many of those there are here. They are poised to hit, guys. And why would they hit the United States? It would hit us as a preemptive action to keep us from responding to saving Taiwan should they move on, if they should decide to hit us, and if they should decide to move on Taiwan. But it all may depend on one key event. And this is what I'm going to tell you about. It's the 2024. Oh, yeah, we've been talking about the 2024 American election, how that may play into it, and why they would probably want to do it while we have a president that's perceived as being not exactly the most resolute, strong Iron Man in the universe, if you know what I mean. All right, all that aside, the actual key may be the election in Taiwan. Yes, the election in Taiwan is supposed to occur on the 13th of January, 2024. And the winner of that election may determine everything. It is expected that the winner will be sworn in on the 20th of May, 2024, should that ever happen. They might short circuit that and prevent that from occurring. Anyway, so what you need to know is that there is a party in Taiwan that the Chinese are trying to get elected that would be more favorable to reconciliation with China. If they can get this party in power, it's possible they might decide not to take the island. Because this party is the only one that would apparently really just kind of sort of surrender to them, although they do favor somewhat a status quo, which may not be in the favor of Xi Jinping. He just he wants that island reunified, and he wants it to happen under his term so that he can make history and go down as being greater Mao Zedong, who couldn't take the island. As y'all might remember, the Republic of China was the government of China that within the Chinese Civil War fled to the island of Formosa, now known as Taiwan chiefly, back in 1949. They went into refugee status. So it's a government in exile, which was the original government of China, the Republic of China. That's what we call Taiwan today, but their official name is the Republic of China. But anyway, this party that they're favoring is actually the original party of Chiang Kai-shek, the KMT. According to the Diplomat magazine, the Kuomintang KMT party, their structure has been beholden as a group to increasingly be out of step with Taiwan's general populace for Chinese reunification. And so that's why China places some hope in them. And they've got agents there in Taiwan. They've got a lot of infiltration in Taiwan, just like they have here and everywhere else, but especially in Taiwan, to try to influence the KMT and try to influence that election. They may have a lot of tricks up their sleeve to kind of force that election on. But apparently, according at least to the Diplomat, the KMT is now out of step with the people of Taiwan. The funny thing is, that was the party of Kai, I can't think right now. I just said his name. the leader, Kai-shek. Anyway, he is the guy who cited, he led up the Republic of China's resistance to the People's Republic of China, the CCP. People's Republic of China was really founded when the CCP won that war, or at least put the ROC into exile on Taiwan, Formosa, whatever you want to call it. But anyway, so the KMT now favors a closer relationship with the People's Republic of China and seeks to maintain, but they seek to maintain China's status quo under the Constitution of the Republic of China. So it may not go as far as Xi Jinping wants, but it might be enough to keep him from invading the island should they win. But they're not really favored because, like I said, they're out of step. So the candidates for the 2024 election in Taiwan for the president are Lai Ching-te. He's of the Democratic Progressive Party, and Hu Yu-yi, I guess, IH, of the KMT, and Ko Wen-ji of the Taiwan People's Party. So there's three parties running. The current president of Taiwan is Tsai Ing-wen. Excuse me if I don't get the names right, but she's a member of that Democratic Progressive Party, the one that favors more independence, which is not in the favor of what Xi Jinping wants. But the people of Taiwan, they want more independence, and the DPP really gained in popularity when people in Taiwan saw what the People's Republic of China did to Hong Kong when they took it way ahead of the time that they had signed a treaty with Great Britain. When Great Britain turned it back over to the PRC, there were supposed to be two separate systems for 50 years, and that didn't last very long because China wanted just to grab it in a whole, even though they were technically under China, the People's Republic of China, mainland China, Peking, you might say, but they still had some autonomy. Well, that was ended pretty much recently. So when the people in Taiwan saw that, they go, oh my gosh, and the DPP increased in popularity quite a bit. So that other party, the Taiwan People's Party, is a centrist political party, the Republic of China. It was formally established in 6 August 2019. Ko Wen-ji, he was a party founder, and he considered himself as an alternate party to both the DPP and the KMT. According to an article on Wikipedia, the TPP's ideology is populism, liberalism, and status quo. So they're not going to be for reunification directly. They want to kind of keep things the same. Anyway, the Taiwan's People Party, though, won only 5 out of 113 seats for the legislature, the won in 2020 during the Taiwanese general election. Now, the Democratic Progressive Party, the party in power right now, won a comfortable majority over the KMT for the first time with 68 seats in that election. So that was 68 out of 113. So while KMT's representation during that election dropped sharply to only 35 seats. So the KMT was initially founded, and now this is, like I said, Chiang Kai-shek. That's what I was trying to say. Anyway, yeah, I had it there for a minute. King. Anyway, so excuse me, guys. He was the leader of the KMT when they went into exile, and he was the first leader in Taiwan, the Republic of China. But that party was actually founded the 23rd of August in 1912. It's older than the Chinese Communist Party, which was founded on 1 July 1921, and was the party that ruled the government of the Republic of China. In any event, so the Republic of the Chinese Communist Party was founded, like I said, 1 July 1921, with the help of the Far Eastern Bureau, the Communist Party of the Soviet Union, and the Far Eastern Secretariat of the Communist International. The founding National Congress of the CCP was held on 23 to 31 July 1921. I'm just giving you this history lesson and give you some perspective that the Republic of China predated the People's Republic of China until 1949. It was the Chinese government till they went into exile because they lost the Civil War with the People's Republic of, well, the Chinese Communist Party, which founded after that the People's Republic of China. So the Republic of China was founded on 1 January 1912. So it was actually predated the KMT. After the 1911 revolution to overthrow the Qing dynasty, which was the last so-called imperial dynasty of China. And you've heard me talk recently of Xi Jinping is actually ruling over a new dynasty, more or less. He may not be supposedly the emperor, but functionally, it doesn't seem to be a lot different, if you know what I mean. That's why they're worried over there about the flooding going on in Peking now, because by Chinese superstition, that means it's when Peking gets flooded, you're supposed to overthrow the dynasty. So they've been going great lengths to hide the devastating floods they've just been getting in Beijing. Anyway, so the Republic of China government relocated to Taiwan, as I mentioned, in 1949, while fighting the Civil War with the Chinese Communist Party. And so all these things have to be borne in mind as the history we really have. And you could say that there really is two Chinas, even though we got a one China policy. They definitely function as two separate governments. And the ROC in China was the original government of China. So you might say it is the government of China in exile against an insurgency instead of being the renegade province that Xi Jinping likes and the CCP like to refer to them as. In any event, so guys, the thing is that a lot of people anticipate that China would strike our forces because they think we're going to reinforce and help Taiwan should they hit them. Now, with the viruses and having all of our stuff infected the way it is, all our military control systems, they might be able to shut our military essentially down or definitely greatly hamper its movement. And China does have an upper hand locally with the strength of their Navy local. Now, a lot of their ships are not long distance blue water ships, but they have an actually larger Navy than the United States in ship count. But for right in the vicinity of China, it matters a lot, especially when combined with their branch of the military that's rocket forces and the balloon forces that they can put up to help identify and locate our carrier groups. Our carrier groups will be in great peril if they get close enough to launch, even with, and I put this in another video, I showed how, balloon video that I did, the last one, how we still got to get so close to launch the F-35s that we're in range of their carrier killers, bomb killers, all these DF-21, DF-26 missiles that China has that they could throw at us. I've gone in great length to show a lot of this stuff in some of these videos. So China is poised to, take us down where we couldn't respond. Now, a lot of people thought, well, they'd strike our Pacific forces. They could take action, though, right here in the United States through shutting down a lot of our critical infrastructure, through hacking. But also they got their sleeper cells. They got the BIOS labs. Who knows? They may launch a full-blown war on us. I don't know. But even if they just blockade Taiwan, it's considered an act of war. So I'm expecting if they were to hit, that it would likely be between in April, actually, when the sea states are the calmest. Now, they might do a quarantine before that. They might go ahead and soften up the targets in Taiwan with a major missile strike just before that. But they may be waiting on that January election, 13 January 2024. They may be waiting on that. That's a possibility. But even if the KMT wins, they may still decide that they're still a little bit too much for status quo. So which way will it go? It's hard to say. I'm not inside of Xi Jinping's head. I do know he wants to make history. He wants to be a greater leader than Mao Zedong. That's the way he wants to go down. But it may not go down that way for him. He may go down as an utter failure in China, since the economy is beginning to sink. But then again, Mao Zedong, through his great leap backwards, cost China tens of millions, some say 80 million lives through his different programs that he instigated. So yeah, but the history books are written by the winner, and one party system, that stuff gets swept under the rug for locals and the school kids here that get indoctrinated in pro-Chinese think. Unfortunately, since China is funding a lot of that. So guys, we have a lot to be aware of right now. We got to get ready. You need to prep, because we don't know what's coming down. Listen, this whole thing with the biolabs is most disconcerting. I should do a whole nother video on that. According to USA Today, the illegal laboratory was filled with infectious agents. So they named the the bug that went around, starting over there in 2019 and got over here in 2020, has been one of them. But they also named HIV and hepatitis. But then they talked about infectious agents and they didn't name them. What was that? There's more to this than they're telling us, and that's got me concerned. So what is it they're not telling us about? There was a huge quantity of blood serums. There was a huge quantity. They found maybe 300 dead rats, and they had over 700 that were genetically modified to be able to carry that. Yeah, that bug, that I was just talking about a minute ago. So yeah, that lab was in Reedley, California, just 24 miles southeast of Fresno. And we only found that because there was a little hose pipe that somebody had put out of that lab, leaking some kind of fluid out to the outside through a little hole drilled into the concrete wall of the lab. So guys, and what was the fluid that was leaking out? That got a health inspector interested. The place was supposed to be unoccupied. They went in there and they found all this stuff. And, it was not a clean lab. Even if they were planning to release stuff on us and hadn't planned to do it just yet, even our level 4 level security systems, that labs that CDC has, it's supposed to be the top level security labs, have been known to leak stuff. And of course, we got some allegations that things leaked from where in a city. Han. Anyway, so if you're aware of these things, what could happen in an uncontrolled, nasty, dirty lab like they had in Reedy that actually had rat feces all over the floor and God knows what else? They looked like a lot of stuff in there was just piled up. It was a mess. So do you think biosecurity is all that great? How many more of those labs they got scattered around this country? We don't know. We just don't know. What are they about to unleash on us? See, the thing is, they're locked and loaded. China is locked and loaded. And a lot of this stuff is aimed right at us. The reason I say that, the biolabs, the sleeper cells, the Trojan virus, malicious software stuff that we've got scattered throughout our critical systems here in America. They have infected almost everything in the United States, include, like I said, our most secure defense system software. And our defense system in America runs on data fusion to be able to coordinate combined force actions. That's how the United States specializes in. That's the United States strength, is combined forces, and be able to integrate all these things at one time. This all ran through software. Even those EAMs that we use to alert our nuclear forces, it goes through software. Software is running everything. They may have, God knows what all is hacked in this country. And have we been able to clean it up? If so much of it, and what else do they have? They may have belts and suspenders. We may have found one system, or it may be something else. We just don't really fully know what all they got ready. Taking down our grid would be enough to wipe this country out. Our infrastructure, that's enough to take us down. Then they got all the sleeper cells, belts and suspenders. Was what I'm talking about. I did a video on how much damage, unbelievable damage, could be done by taking out dams in this country. So, will they strike in April 2024? Will they strike the United States too? I don't know that as a matter of fact. So I'm not claiming it will happen. I'm just letting you know the potential is non-zero. It's way too great. It's a possibility. They have motivation, as I explained in that previous video, which I'll link toward the end of this show here. And I will show a banner up here. So, guys, this is serious, really serious. Even if we decide we're not going to help Taiwan, they're already locked and loaded toward us. And if we tell them we're not going to, they might think we will. And if they think that we are going to do something, they may strike us. They've done practice sessions on striking our bases in Guam. They've done lots of practice sessions on striking our carriers. They are prepared for war with the United States. And I don't think we are as prepared right now, not as we should be. We're trying to start to set up forces over there, but that's not done yet. It's going to take time to set all up. It's like, the submarine deal we cut with Australia. That's going to take years to put in place. So it may behoove China, if they really want to make the move that they seem to want to make, that they may do it a lot sooner than later. And like I said, and having a president that's not perceived to be the strongest man in the universe in charge like we currently have, that might be their favor. That's why 2024 might be the year of war. World War III may launch. I don't know, guys. I hope that is not true. I say hope and pray for that. But what's a good prepper do? A good prepper hopes for the best. You hope and pray for the best. Prepare for the worst. And guys, this is the time that we got to take these preps seriously. So I would highly encourage you to plant your garden. Check out my videos on how to eat free from the weeds and the trees. Wave post, wave below, look at the water purification video. But also, it's a good time right now before food prices really jack up the prices. Check prepwithgreg.com and look at the specials there that we've got for long-term food storage. And oh yeah, I got that video that I put up 2 weeks ago, which also I went to the map. I went to Google Earth and I showed you where the Chinese forces were deployed in their 9-dash line established islands in the South China Sea. We went through and reviewed those. I showed you where we're planning to put forces in, and I laid all this out and I explained then militarily why they would probably want to strike in 2024. Now, what I'm telling you now is the rest of the story, why they would want to do it politically. So, guys, and now that they've got these 3 tests almost in their belt, China's ready to go. Sleeper cells here, biolabs here, hacking software here. Yeah, they might even EMP us. They could definitely do that. They have to have some. We wouldn't even see it coming potentially. It might be on board a satellite, just going over the United States and pop. So yeah, they are, and then they got their Chinese spy balloons. I did some videos on. Well, it's not the spy balloons I'm really worried about. It's the other kind of balloon launch capacity. We don't have anything ready to be able to deal with that. So, guys, buckle up. We could be in for a rough ride. It ain't gonna be pretty. Fighting China, Russia, Iran, or even North Korea will be nothing like any war we've ever seen before, because it's going to be a lot of it happening right here. So many sleeper cells. That's the risk of having the border thrown wide open. Yeah, sleeper cells. My friends, prepare. Get ready. Check out the video link that I'll put in here for where I talked about this 2 weeks ago, going into more detail, showing you the maps and all that. So check that video. And my friends, I just want to thank you for watching. And with that, I'm going to say, God bless and Greg out.